I'm very much delighted to introduce keynote speaker this morning, Mr. Woody Mo. Woody Mo is President and CEO of eBaoTech, the leading insurtech company who have an office and operation 35 countries around the world. And as we discussed yesterday, starting from governor's speech, insurtech, fintech, cyber risk is a key concern or opportunities for industry as well as regulators. But key question is, this is so exponentially developing, we don't know where they are. So we have an excellent presentation today we received, and we'd like to know where we are now in the industry's very much high tech, and particularly insurtech focus on our insurance area. So Mr. Woody Mo, yes, please come to the stage.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your kind invitation and introduction. I'm very, very honored to be here to share our view on the technology and insurance. Let me briefly introduce our company, not to market here, just give you some context what we do. We are a startup company of very old age, 17 years, started 2000 in China, Shanghai. And today we are in about 30 some countries with our customers, from Asia to all the way to Africa. Like for instance, Botswana Life is our customer. And we are doing insurance business only. Our name in Chinese means easy insurance. Bao is insurance in Chinese. So in a way, we are having a very clear mission. When I started the company 2000, I left McKinsey because I felt insurance is so backward. Technology should be a way to help it to improve. But today, after almost 18 years, I feel that insurance industry is still not easy. So that means I still have a lot of work to do, and I'm still very far away from retiring. Hopefully, we can make it happen in the next decade or so. Make insurance easy is our mission, and that is still a very high challenge. So specifically, we offer two sets of capabilities. At the bottom is what we call the software, eBao software, which is pretty much an insurance company's internal system. Okay, that has been our business for many years. And about 3 years ago, we started to push, I call it eBao Cloud, which is more a connectivity channel product, especially the long tail, the inclusive, the micro, the nano insurance. How do we insert insurance in every possible place that it is needed? That is the mission of eBao Cloud. So we are doing both type of business, and we are having a lot of good progresses. So to come to the kind of the overall vision, there's a lot of talk about digital insurance. In my view, digital insurance is connected insurance. So insurance needs to be connected to everyday life of many, many people, from very affluent to very poor people, in every aspect of their business and their life. So that is a huge opportunity for the industry, because there is a huge room of growth, a lot of insurance that are needed but not available. And there is also much more room for non-commodity competition. People need to be much more creative, need to be more touching the ground, understand the real life of many, many people to come up with the right products and way of doing business. There's also much more room for data, because you go more and more into the long tail, the data will become much, much more important than if you do the top kind of commodity type of business. But there's a huge challenge of doing this. Insurance is extremely difficult and painful to connect to other things. Okay, we help a lot of insurance companies to launch their product into digital space. And we literally every day live in a cultural conflict. Okay, we talk to the internet companies. They say, if you launch a product on Alibaba, it takes 10 minutes. Why is that it takes 6 months for insurance product to be launched? So we are in the middle. We have to explain to both sides why this thing is so vastly different, right? So there are a lot of reasons. There are products process too complex. Honestly, also there's a lot of regulatory barriers, sometimes unnecessarily complex. And then there's culture. And then, of course, technology is very important. Most of the insurance companies' technology are extremely outdated. They are the dinosaurs in now probably many, many verticals. So I'll explain the long tail or the inclusive because sometimes it's new to people who are not the internet space. Okay, the long tail concept was initially kind of proposed by a person called Chris Anderson, who used to be the editor of Wired magazine. He basically wrote an article in 2004 or 5 about how Amazon and all these other companies, their digital cost is zero, and therefore they can sell everything, right? I mean, the Amazons beat the bookstores, physical bookstores, by claiming that any book you want, I can sell you. Any physical bookstore cannot make that claim. Why? Because Amazon's shelf space costs practically nothing, right? So as a result of digital, the unit cost coming to zero, insurance is potentially now able to penetrate into everywhere it is needed, no matter how big and how small that opportunity is. So that is theoretically capable now. So just give you some example. This is the data in China for the last Chinese New Year. So it's around February. So in 2 weeks' time, out of this context of Chinese New Year, a lot of people are going home, a lot of people are taking break, a lot of people are going shopping, a lot of people have nothing to do, sitting at home bored and go to internet to buy things, right? When you're bored, you buy things. That's the kind of very common. So out of 2 weeks, there are about 60 million policies sold. And premium also, so the blue is last year, the orange is this year. So you see the vast growth. But more interestingly, you see the unit cost or premium per policy is going down. So it's going smaller and smaller, okay? I call it not even micro now, I call it nano, okay? Nano insurance now is becoming reality, okay? So, but how can this be possible? You know, if you sell a policy of half US dollar average, that is possible because it's all digital. There's no additional cost. There's zero human touch in this whole thing, right? So this gives you some breakdown of the typical products. So this is scenario-based. The Chinese New Year creates a huge movement of people. So the biggest human movement in entire history is the Chinese New Year. So it's around 200 to 300 million people traveling in that period, right? So a lot of travel insurance, a lot of accident insurance, a lot of other related insurance. For instance, some of our customers are innovating for auto insurance. When you drive home for the Chinese New Year, you can buy insurance in the event there is a traffic jam. You have to stay one extra night on the road. You cover your insurance for that because the hotel cost could explode. When there is a traffic jam, the cost of a hotel can go up dramatically, right? So these are the things that are being possible now because of the digital technology. Now, insurance is always supporting other industries. So this chart is to show you how the higher frequency of other business will actually bring up the insurance business. Insurance today is very low frequency. The guys you do today, I mean the life insurance, the auto insurance is practically an annual event, right? Or even less. How do you compete against the internet, which is every single hour or single minute, people who use WeChat in China, they are on it probably every 5 minutes. Every other 5 minutes, if they don't open their WeChat, they feel anxious, okay? Their blood pressure goes up, So this is the kind of the context of insurance, that we need to move up ability to interact with our customer with a much higher frequency than today. But again, that means your cost has to be zero, because if your interaction cost is non-zero, you go to this kind of frequency of Facebook, of WeChat, then your cost will be killing you very, very quickly, right? So as a result, I typically say these are the 4 steps to digitize insurance. The first step, which is very important, is to actually automate everything so that your cost of interaction, of transaction, of anything, unit cost is zero. If you don't have that, you cannot do that kind of frequency, and also you cannot create real-time experience. The customers are more and more demanding. Okay, if you cannot give them real-time result, they will walk away. So this is the new kind of normal. Then for our traditional business, which is still very important, we need to digitize the experience. The traditional products sold through traditional channels. I will talk about our specific example next. Then you need to expand to the long tail channel. There are many, many places the traditional insurance products, without much innovation, can be sold or can actually help your customers to do something. But today, because it's so hard to connect, we completely ignore those channels. And as a result, insurance companies are hostage to the top channels. The top channels have so much of your business, and they have all the bargaining power. They have all the money. You are doing all the hard work, but not making much money, right? And you are also not able to serve a lot of other customers. So the so-called 80-20 rule of the past is really the bad ones. The good ones is long tail, is the inclusive. Then as you move to more and more channels or scenarios, the product innovation will also become long tail. You need to be able to come up with a lot of new products on the fly. You need to be able to innovate for a particular scenario or business context that is so tiny, you may only sell 1,000 policy or 100 policy, but your cost of innovation has to be also almost zero. So you innovate fast, you try all kinds of things, you fail fast. But in our current culture and technology cost, fail fast is not allowed in insurance industry. If you tell your boss, insurance company executive, you go back to your boss to say, I want to fail and fail fast. They say, you are fired. So that comes to technology again. Okay, we are a technology company, so I'm always in tech, right? So the biggest problem today of the insurance industry is the technology is literally in a stone age for most of the insurance companies. Okay, I came up with this. The paradigm is 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, because today we're all using 4G phones now. 1G is the cobalt green monitor. Okay, in some countries, people literally are still looking at the green monitors. I call them green technology companies in the insurance industry. They are the first to be green for many, many years. And then we have the 2G, which is client server. For people who may be familiar with technology, client server was a bit hot in the early 90s. And then 3G, which we actually pioneered. Eval produced the first core life package on Java, which is web-based. Okay, that was the hot buzz for the last 20 years or so. But now we are moving to 4G. 4G is we call it cloud. Okay, it's an internet native. It's basically built on the same thinking of an internet company. It is, we call it microservice driven. It's not about a big chunk of functionality. It's all about APIs that you can connect to anything you want on the fly. So that is what Especially in China, this is very hard. Every insurance company is trying to move to API-based platform instead of a big functionality-driven software. So we are already there. We have the 4G and 3G both. So our cloud is moving to 4G. The other thing you will talk to your companies, especially the ones that are very progressive, is to break the traditional core system into 2 layers. The back office, which is going to be shrinking smaller and smaller as almost a storage system. And then you have a much more powerful middle office, which is really acting as the connectivity hub to your ecosystem. That is going to be very, very important. And for insurance companies that have big scale, you may want to have your own middle office, and then you also leverage the third-party middle office, which is the shared platform. Okay, yesterday the governor of the central bank here said there's a need for sharing capabilities. We are very strong believer of that because there is no way for every firm in this industry to create the best technology and keep running it and building better capabilities. There has to be some kind of sharing of technology so that everybody has much less cost and time to innovate. So we actually run that eBao Cloud as the shared middle office for industry. So we are in a few countries already, obviously China and a few other countries. So just give you that sense, that shared middle office platform is shown here, okay? So in the middle, eBao Cloud, where we provide the product engine and the policy service engine, and then on top is the connectivity to channel. At the bottom is the connectivity to insurance core systems, okay? So insurance core system will become less involved in some of those interaction with the channels and will be done through the middle office. On top, these are the 4 key stakeholders or users of our platform. Insurance companies, obviously, and then the traditional channels, the agents, the car dealers, and so on. And then the third is the affinity. So the internet companies, a lot of them want to monetize through insurance, but they don't know how. It's very, very painful. Insurance industry for them is just extremely difficult to deal with. And then the last one is the fintech startup company. So we are a fintech, but we also enable a fintech. We are already supporting a lot of fintech companies to innovate on insurance on our platform. So they don't need to rebuild everything from scratch. They get a lot of acceleration by using eBao Cloud as their platform. So this is what we're doing for a country, insurance industry. So we are very happy to go to a place where you think there is a value to the business in your country and set up this, run it locally. So just give you some specific examples of our use cases or users, okay? Datong is the largest independent insurance agent company. So they sell a lot of insurance policies, traditional life insurance policies, and we provide the engine for their APP. Their APP is called a quick insurance, 快保 in Chinese. And they use this to support everything in real time, from premium calculation, benefit illustration, submit, issue policy. Even the commission go to the agent in real time through integration to the payment gateways. So these are the kind of experience now is becoming more and more standard. So in the session after this, I saw a title was high tech versus high touch. I think sometimes it's not completely against each other. You know, like this example, these agents are now high tech and high touch because they use this cell phone app and they use WeChat and they have much more interaction with their customers. They can answer their customers' questions literally in real time. You know, within a few minutes, they can send you a graph about the benefit illustration, whatever, right? And they use high tech. So digital does not mean killing of the traditional channel. It actually adds a lot of efficiency to the traditional channel. So the agents today, for instance, a lot of them in China are able to sell very small policies now. In the old days, people say the life insurance agents don't want to sell small policies. But today it's changing because it's all sold digitally. It doesn't mean that they have to travel 2 hours to meet someone to sell a policy. These are the product innovators. So health insurance is in huge demand. But the products today mostly are not good enough for many, many consumers, other than maybe the affluent, very high-end customers. They have good kind of service. But for mass customers, poor customers, health insurance today is still very, very, very underserved. So this is a particular company in China. They are trying to innovate on health insurance products, and they use our platform and connect to the insurance company, and then they connect to the channels, to the brokers and internet companies, right? So they gain a lot of speed and efficiency and time. This is the largest car dealership in China, China Grand Auto, and they use eBao Cloud now to run their insurance platform, okay? Until today, their staff have to open a big insurance company's portal to sell that particular company's insurance products, or sometimes it's paper-based, right? But that is changing now because we have this cloud. So as a channel, they can also afford a technology that used to be too expensive for them to have. So now they actually want to run their customers' insurance business on their own platform instead of going to different insurance companies' platform. So that is a big change. I think overall the channels will want to be more and more in control of the insurance business, which in a way is good because they know their customer much better than insurance companies, honestly. And they have much better data about product and services their customers need. So we provide almost like an enabler platform so that anybody who has any need can get the technology. You don't need to spend millions of dollars upfront to build something, right? So this is another example of the micro insurance enabling real economy and enabling working labor, right? So truck drivers today in China, mostly they are freelance people, right? So they go to some apps to find the goods, to make money, to deliver. The first thing they worry is typically, how can I get paid? Will I be paid very fast after I deliver the goods? So that is a friction of this system. So some of the banks in China now are offering tiny AR loans to these truck drivers. So basically, the moment you deliver, the banks will pay you, and the banks will go to collect from the owner of the goods. And then the banks want a credit insurance company to come to insure this tiny risk. Okay, the policy premium is a few dollars US, a credit insurance. Okay, in the old days, as a company, we all use AR loan lending that involves a very lengthy negotiation, a lot of paper, sign a contract. But this is done all digitally, real time, and with almost no cost. So therefore, the insurance company can make money, banks can make money, the drivers can drive the goods with the comfort that they will get paid the moment they deliver the goods, right? So this is where the micro or nano insurance is really providing a huge benefit to society. This is also a real example we run. Okay, in China, for a long period of time, there was this single child policy. And for the old people who lost their single child, life is very miserable. So there is this kind of charity drive to find these people and create insurance and for people to donate. Okay, so literally people donate insurance to these old couples who lost their only child. And then we provide this cloud-based platform to facilitate this process. So insurance company put their products, and then the local volunteer organizations go to search the neighborhood, list all these people on our platform, and then donors can just choose an individual to donate insurance to. So these are all, again, only possible with the digital technology. Otherwise, it's just too expensive to run. And we are also very happy that we got our first customer in Europe about using our eBao Cloud to launch insurance around a lot of scenarios. Again, the first is the rail system. When people you know, the whole journey of buying ticket, riding a train, all that stuff. There are a lot of insurance that can be created and innovated. Again, every insurance is tiny, so this is, again, only possible with a digital enablement. So that is all I have to share today. Thank you very much.